respond to every inflammatory statement made by the White House. However, the release of racist images of former President Barack and First Lady Michelle Obama is offensive, heartbreaking, and unacceptable. President Trump didn't apologize.
I have had it up to here with conservatives, especially white conservatives. Good evening. Welcome to Disaffected. I'm Joshua Slocum, and this is the show where we talk about politics, culture, and relationships through a psychological lens, as well as what I am fed up with. It is, Kevin, correct me if I get this wrong, it's February 8, 2026 tonight? I think that's right. All right. It has taken me 10 years of internal conflict to drag my disaffected liberal leftist ass to the right side of the aisle. And as soon as I park my car at the curb, I find the whole neighborhood has gone to rack and ruin. As I tour my new conservative neighborhood, I find that I'm living among feminized panty waists, cuckolded sissy men, and their boss babe wives, all on the right. All that time of my life until age 41, when I started changing my mind, I really did believe myself that right-wingers were dangerous, mean, hateful, stupid, toxically masculine, and just a bunch of bad news bears. Well, wrong. They're all Mr. Rogers on estrogen therapy. That's divisive and not productive. Donald Trump is so vulgar and he makes me feel uncomfy. This is the men speaking. Young white men like my son and his friends are really kind of mean and icky. I think your message would resonate better if you used a different tone. I have never had erectile dysfunction until I met conservative men, and they're straight up saltpeter. So, what bullshit am I on about this week? Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about it because we've got a whole bunch of hysterical crying about quote unquote racism. More on that in a minute. And in a few more minutes, podcaster Isaiah Carter of Apostate Radio is going to join us to comment on this with me, so stay tuned. On this show, you may remember 2 or 3 years ago, maybe even 4 years ago, I said that I was finally ready to call it like I saw it with black folks. If you are a newer viewer to Disaffected, understand that I was not always a fire-breathing right-wing dragon. Most of my life, I was a sissified male feminist, gay rights, new atheist, leftist liberal, socialist, alcoholic, pansy asshole. Now I'm a sober MAGA asshole. So even I, the guy who will say almost anything in public under my own name, I couldn't bring myself to treat black people and their bullshit equally to white people and their bullshit. Like most of my generation, Gen X, I was raised on and schooled in the myth of the colorblind society. From Sesame Street and preschool straight through high school, I lapped up the received narrative that everybody else lapped up about His Most Sainted Holiness, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I worshipped at the altar of communist hoaxer Rosa Parks. And if that's a shock to you, and for some of you it is, go behind me and look it up. I'm not making it up. I used the phrase. I myself said things like, America's original sin was slavery. As if the United States were the first and the only country on earth to ever have chattel slavery. As if most white people in the United States prior to the Civil War owned slaves. Not true, it was only about 2%. As if black Africans didn't sell their own people to the white slavers, which they did. As if the Arab Moors weren't the biggest slave traders in history, which they were, and which they still are. And oh, the generational trauma I bought into all of it. The racial memory of slavery explains why black people can't stay married, why it's all baby mamas and baby daddies. It explains why Trayvon can't be expected to keep his hands to himself, why it's understandable that black men defy the police and flee arrest, etc., etc., etc. I bought into all of it. Now, I wasn't quite as oblivious and well, maybe I was this obnoxious. I wasn't quite as oblivious as these girls we're going to see, but this ain't far off. And so I'm going to play this clip in a minute. And yes, I am one of those former liberals who thought it was, quote, racist to require voter ID. Let's roll those girls.
I think that's harder for black people to go online.
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works.
A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data.
For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or like they're not informed.
I also think there's a repression of like black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, like you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the like African American.
There's like convicted felons, and like that's a huge portion of the African American population. She's not wrong about that. It is a disproportionate number. But she's concerned. She's concerned about convicted felons and their voting rights. There is no mental illness as pervasive and deeply rooted in the American psyche as the specter of what we call racism. What we call racism, not an actual thing, what we call it. I am now beginning to question whether the term racism has ever meant anything morally meaningful at all. Because in America, since forever, at least in living memory, everything is racist. Everything. And most white people, including most conservative white people, believe that alleged racism against blacks is the most wicked mortal sin possible. Worse than murder. Worse than extortion, definitely worse than rape, and way, way worse than abortion. Oh, no, don't kick back on me about that. What I said was true and everybody knows it. Nothing reliably provokes stern moral outrage, fake tears, hand-wringing, narcissistic moralizing, and all manner of craven, pathetic behavior as some white person saying something not nice about some black person. Treat black people equally as full humans? What a joke. We don't want that. We don't want a bit of that. We want our little Negro victims. We want them ignorant, oppressed, benighted, but magically wise, and never, ever held to full adult accountability like other people. We want this because we collectively don't actually give a single shit about the welfare of black people. Never have. That was always a lie. They have been, for us white people, our narcissistic accessories, our fetishes, our fetish dolls that we covet and polish like our precious because they give us a mile-high platform to stand on to show the world how very, very much we care. It's just like tons of straight women, the kind that we call fag hags, don't actually like gay men, never did. Or they don't see them as men. They don't see them as full human men. They just see them as pocket pansies, accessories to show off at brunch while we have our cute nom-noms and mim-mims. Now, please don't mistake me. I'm not arguing that white people collectively should, quote, really care about saving black people. That's drama triangle dysfunctional neurosis. It never works no matter who the target audience is. I'm not arguing that we should be more genuinely empathetic and do more, do better. That is not my argument. I am saying that white people, conservatives and liberals, need to put the drug down and finally get clean. Black people are just people. They're just humans. Really. They're just as dirty and grubby and ugly and venal and beautiful and honorable and charitable and hardworking and lazy and feckless and imperfectly human as every other human being. The 20th century civil rights consensus fetish is over, whether the boomers like it or not, and they do not like it. You boomers and you Gen Xers who can't let go of the period from 1960 to 2000, you're the problem. Get on board with the new reality or find yourselves being fought hard by peers like me. And there are people who are a lot nastier than I am. Because you lot have done incalculable damage to the body politic because of your obsession with the race cult. And I was part of this too. I did a lot of damage. So why am I talking about that this week? Well, the other day, someone on President Trump's social media team posted a thing, and then everyone lost their minds. I'm going to summarize this for you. Trump's social media team posted a video that was a camera screen recording, meaning somebody took their phone and recorded something off another screen. That video they recorded was about election fraud, and specifically election fraud alleged to have occurred during the 2020 election that Joe Biden allegedly won. Before we go further, I'm going to show you that election fraud video that was posted on Trump's Truth Social account. This was the video included in his post. Remember, this is about election fraud. So that is to say, it's about something very serious and important. Let's roll number 20, please, Kevin.
Machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ES&S machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Okay. So that was almost all of the clip that appeared on Trump's Truth Social post. Now, whoever recorded that screen and posted the video on Trump's social media account included, deliberately or not, it's unclear, a few seconds of the video that automatically played after the election fraud video, as often happens when you're scrolling social media. You get autoplay, something pops up right away. I neither know nor care whether they included that deliberately. It does not change the morality of the situation, not a bit. What followed on that video was a small snippet of an AI parody, a cartoon AI parody set to the famous song, The Lion Sleeps Tonight. It was a takeoff on The Lion King. That video parodied politicians by putting their faces on cartoon dancing animals to mock them. Now remember, Trump's post with the election fraud video included only the first 2 seconds of that AI parody that automatically popped up. I'm going to play you the same clip I played you a minute ago, but this time I'm going to include that 2-second break where that new video crops up.
Machine that counts the votes. A Telit 4G wireless chip manufactured in Taiwan was discovered embedded into the motherboard. The voting machine tapes clearly indicate modem engagement and transmission of election data. Some of the anomalies that we noticed in the 2020 general elections, that 5 key states all stopped counting at a certain time in these key battleground states. These were all where the software, Dominion machines, ES&S machines were used, the Smartmatic, the GEMS software. So when the vote stopped counting, and this has been noted in other countries as well, President Trump was significantly ahead. When reporting and counting resumed, there was a massive spike occurred that favored Joe Biden.
Audience, I'm going to let you sit with your feelings for a second, okay? Work it out. The The entire political establishment went bug fuck nuts over that 1.5-second clip. Absolute insanity. And not just the liberals. I'm not talking about the liberals tonight. I'm talking about the alleged conservatives. Here's a sampling. So Representative Mike Turner of Ohio, this is image number 40, wrote this on Twitter. He said, I do not feel the need to respond to every inflammatory statement made by the White House. However, the release of racist images of former President Barack and First Lady Michelle Obama is offensive, heartbreaking, and unacceptable. President Trump should apologize. Here's another sample. This is Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, number 50, who tweeted, praying it was fake because it's the most racist thing I've seen out of this White House. The president should remove it. Then we have, again, all conservatives. Representative Mike Lawler of New York tweeted, the president's post is wrong and incredibly offensive, whether intentional or a mistake, and should be deleted immediately with an apology offered. Oh, they're all demanding an apology, and Trump refuses. He has this to say. Can we play number 70?
Great to me. I've been great to them. Black voters have been great to me. I've been great to them. And I am, by the way, the least racist president you've had in a long time, as far as I'm concerned. We have, I've had a great relation. Think of what I've done. Criminal justice reform. Nobody else could do it. Obama couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Clinton couldn't do it. They actually went the other way. They went into a very bad thing for African American people, black people. They went to it. They did very bad things. I did very good things. But criminal justice reform, and then I funded the universities, which nobody else was willing to do. They were going every year. They'd come back to Washington and they'd be begging for money.
All right. I'm going to show you a little bit of what he wrote because we're going to bring podcaster Isaiah Carter on in a minute. He wrote this on Twitter. Here's the same offending video with the last 2 seconds edited out by me. This is the signal that was lost in the noise that the Democrats created about racism today. The Democrats actually succeeded here in drawing the public's attention away from their voter fraud. Everyone is talking about Trump's alleged racism. Nobody is talking about this, and this is the election fraud. If you had any amount of emotional maturity and or intellectual integrity, you'd have avoided being manipulated again by Democrats, but you didn't keep your emotions in check, and now you out here calling Donald Trump a racist again, like you always do. Isaiah Carter, welcome to Disaffected.
Say the J is affection.
Okay, this is an inside joke, audience. If you you need to go on social media and you need to look up Jason Stanley. He's a liberal philosophy professor who Isaiah has been comparing to me for at least 1.5 years on Twitter. He's like, you look just like him. You just like him. Well, he's wrong. He obviously needs his prescription checked because I am way better looking than Jason Stanley, and I do not have a Jufro. But I admit there's a certain resemblance.
I mean, listen, like if you're measuring success by counting blades of grass, then I guess there would be. But but I'm just saying, like he kind of look like him, man. But no, either way, I really appreciate
Kevin, get the hook, get Isaiah off the show. I don't want to hear.
Well, you've been on our show. You've been on Apostate Radio a couple of times last year.
Yep.
And it's really good to have you. Really good for you. It's really an honor to be on with you this time around. So I'm looking forward to talking to you.
Thanks for joining us. It's been too long, and we'll do more of this. So I'm going to ask you. I'm going to pretend to be a liberal reporter, and I have a question of you to ask. So,
please.
as a black man, are you offended?
No. To be quite honest, I mean, it's like I said yesterday. I mean, you we bore witness to the entire uh political establishment. The entire DC establishment went insane in covering, in condemning the last 2 seconds of a very important video about voter fraud. That was the thing. And I mean, I personally thought that it might have been intentional. I did. I did think
Hmm.
that for about a second, because I remember I was on the treadmill when when I first saw this video, and I'm like, he got him. He got him. Like to watch to watch the apoplexy that people engaged in. And what's crazy is I expected it from the left, because the left literally cannot exist any day without. I wrote yesterday on my Facebook page. I said liberals call Donald Trump a racist 5 times, like they're praying the Adon. Okay, it's like they have to say that Donald Trump is a racist at least 5 times a day, or they or they don't get like their psychological healing or whatever. It's like how they, but I never thought I would see as much of it as I did from the right. I never
Okay,
thought
so
that I
you see it
never
too.
thought.
It struck you as well how I like I I know that the right suffers from a lot of the same problems the left does, but I was actually surprised that I know it. Okay, my algorithm and everything. I think I saw more screaming from public figures on the right about this than I did even from the liberal left.
Yeah, I did as well, and that was the thing. It's like, how long are you like? How long is this political entity going to keep getting played? That's really the
Right.
question. That's the question that I keep asking myself in this case. It's like, how often are Republicans going to let themselves keep getting dog walked and emotionally manipulated? We're talking about a political party who tried to literally assassinate Donald Trump twice. Okay. We're
Yep.
talking about a political system, right? That has, if you look at states like Virginia and the state of Maryland, Virginia just gerrymandered Republicans almost out of existence in their state legislature, 10-1.
Okay.
The state was was like 5-4. It was like 6-5 or something like that. As soon as the new Democrat governor Abigail Spanberger gets in, the state legislature, amongst the raft of things that they brought into that the raft of bills that they brought into the Commonwealth, one of them was this redistricting thing, and now it's in Virginia state legislature right now, 10 Democrats, 1 Republican. My home state of Maryland doing something very similar to this, right? Where they're trying to box out Republicans completely from that state. Why am I bringing this up? Because in both cases, and here in the state of New York, there's some other stuff too, but in both of those cases, you see Republicans kowtowing almost immediately to
Yes.
whatever Democrats want. Democrats are the more aggressive, more power hungry party in the United States. And Republicans, instead of using power when they have it, right? Instead of using power to move the agenda forward, the agenda that people voted for them to advance, Republicans act like they don't want to do it. They're
Yeah.
constantly afraid of, well, what happens when what's going to happen if they get into power again? Like, what happens when they, like, what will they do to us? I'm like,
constantly. Yeah. We can't exercise our power. We can't pull the trigger because if we pull the trigger, then when they're in power again, they will pull the trigger on us. And like, they've already pulled every trigger. They're going to do it no matter what. You are simply saying, I refuse to defend myself because I'm afraid that defending myself will make mommy hurt me more.
Exactly.
It's
and you know what?
it's so
crazy
close to me. Hold that
abuse.
Hold
No,
that for a second.
sorry,
I want to say to, no problem. I'm breaking in here. I want to say to Kevin, I think I messed something up here. I believe that we have the entire AI parody video, not just the 2 seconds, and I think it's in both of the folders and both of the drives we use for the show. If you can get it so that we can play it for the audience, then just let me know. If you can't, thanks very much.
I have it.
Because I'd like to
way,
show you guys if I can.
Josh, I have it. I can send it to you. If Kevin doesn't have it, I have it.
Okay, good to know. Thanks. I think he's going to look in our folder right now. Kevin, I think the file name is AI parody video. It's got those words in it. I named it something intuitive, I think.
Okay. If y'all don't have it, let me know. I'll send it to you.
Okay. I think it's really funny. Yeah.
It is. Especially when you when you look at like the cadre of people in that video. It's like Barack and Michelle were just the appetizers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the fact that they had Olivia Juliana as a fucking bore, as like standing over like a plate of fucking food. It was actually hilarious. You know,
I know.
they
Hang on a second. Kevin's telling me something. Did you find it, Kevin, or not? Okay. Well, hey, Isaiah, if you want to slop that over to Kevin, that would be great because I would like to show it to the audience. If we can't, it's okay. You guys should look it up though. It's all over social media. You cannot help but run into it. So
yeah, I got it.
I know. Here, I'll pretend to be you. Clickety click. Click click click.
All right, Kev, what's your email address? I'm gonna say which email am I sending this to? Hold on.
Yeah, you're watching. What should have been pre-production is happening right for you, audience. So enjoy.
Kevin at disaffected.com. All right, there we go.
Oh, now he's going to get a bunch of spam.
No, he ain't. I'm gonna send it right now.
Yeah, I know you don't check your email.
Let me know if you got it.
Let me ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Isaiah. Mm-hmm. You know, you're a commentator. You do your show. I do my show. I know that you've changed your political opinions pretty significantly over time as well. I don't know how you would have characterized yourself beforehand, but I think it's fair to say that you were a leftist or liberal for a while.
Yeah, we were the same. We were the same in a lot of respects. I had been a card-carrying leftist for liberal for quite some time. I had voted for Obama in 2008 and 2012, so I ushered
Me too.
in. Yeah, I ushered in this foolishness. I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, voted for Biden in 2020.
Too.
You know, like, and then
no, I didn't do that.
For the first time, I voted for Trump in 2024. We were very much the same in our voting pattern, and to watch the Democrats turn into something that I never once thought they would become. Like, they have fully embraced communism. They have embraced this emotional immaturity, this ridiculous. No, like they're very, very. They're a party of exposed nerves. If that's the best, I mean, I
Ooh,
guess
nicely
that's a good
phrased.
way. I guess that's a good way of putting it. You know, and you could see
Yes.
this immediately, right? There's actually a post from Donna Brazil from yesterday, and if you want to bring this up on the show, you can. Where she sees Tim, like, she quotes Tim Scott's post. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, for the benefit of your audience, the left have been after Tim Scott for a very, very long time. Tim Scott is a long-time black Republican U.S. senator out of South Carolina. He has been called an Uncle Tom and a coon and mushmouth and all sorts of stuff, more than most of us could even count. Okay. And the second he raised his voice to condemn Trump's that video post. And again, we're talking the last 2 seconds of that video. Okay. She then decided, she said, you know what? Now it's your turn to go march up there to the White House and and carry this message, and you need to denounce the Republic, you need to denounce your party and denounce Trump and all this. And I was like, and there it is. There it is. I was like, I said, and now you understand, and now you know why when the video first dropped, I did not give an inch to these fucking people, because I knew. I said it. I said it in a post. I said, Donna Brazil just tried to put her hand up Tim Scott's ass and try to move him around as a puppet. It's like, it's like, so now that they know, now the Democrats know that there are Republicans, there are weak-willed Republicans that can be manipulated into doing what they want them to do. That is going to be the agenda moving forward. That's gonna be their new play. And now I can't hear you.
Are you saying that you can't hear me, Isaiah?
I can hear you now. I couldn't.
You can hear me now.
You said
Okay.
a second ago, I didn't hear you.
Okay. Well, what I'm saying here is I want to tie this into the thesis of the show, and the thesis of Disaffected is that we are living in a cluster B society, cluster B personalities, narcissism, emotional instability, histrionics, pretending to be a victim while you're actually aggressing and perpetrating against other people, reversing the truth, black is white, healthy is dysfunctional, pretty is ugly, et cetera, et cetera. That's cluster B. It's just the inversion. And, and for you Christians out there, yes, it is satanic. That's another word for it.
Yes, it is.
This is the thing I wish that the right and I wish Republicans would understand. The Republicans are too wimpy. They're way too wimpy, and they do not understand the world they're living in. Even some of these guys who've been in the Senate for years do not understand their opponents. They think that they can reason these fuckers into reason. They think that they can calmly and logically talk to them. Republicans of goodwill and good faith. I'm talking to the normal Republicans out there. You are not dealing with normal people. The left doesn't merely and only disagree with you. The left is full of fully personality disordered, malignant narcissists and sociopaths.
Who want to kill
they know
you.
what they're doing. They are playing you. They see your weakness. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to insult you, but you are weak. You are very weak. I've been weak. Pardon me. I think that's the first time I've actually sneezed on air. Maybe the second time. They are playing you because they can see your weakness. I have been weak like you. They played me too. They're not normal people. They don't just disagree with you. They have bad moral character. They are bad people, not mistaken people, bad people.
And they want to kill you. If we're going to be,
they do.
Not to cut you off, give you a chance to sneeze again. Ladies, again, folks, these people want to hurt you. They want to hurt you. They want to take away every single ounce of your power. Okay. I'm actually going to,
Yep.
because I actually pulled this up and I want to read this. This is from Christian Hyans, who is as a matter of fact, I bookmarked it. Give me 1 second here. He is, he lives in Virginia. Okay. He's been, following a lot of stuff. I think you probably follow him too. I highly recommend him. But he wrote this, and I think this is actually quite prescient. Okay.
Okay.
Let me just make sure I can find it here. Here we go. When I'm going to read this as quickly as I can. I want to make sure you can. When Republicans last held a governing trifecta, I'm reading from Christian Hyans' post. When Republicans last held a governing trifecta in Virginia, the Senate map was an explicit Democrat gerrymander that we had been able to crack by 1 seat, but we could hardly pass anything because we had too many vulnerable Republicans in Democrat-leaning districts that didn't want to vote on the most controversial legislation. So, the state Senate passed a mid-decade redistricting bill that would have wiped out several powerful Democrats, massively expanded our majority, and guaranteed the GOP control of the chamber for nearly a decade. When the bill got to the House of Delegates, the Republican speaker killed it on the floor because he didn't think it was in keeping with the quote unquote Virginia way. Yes, a Republican Speaker of the House killed a GOP redistricting bill that would have overturned a Democrat gerrymander and enable us to actually pass conservative legislation when we had unified control over Virginia's government, close quote.
Why are they doing this? Why are they deliberately cutting off their own limbs?
Why?
I don't.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I'll never forget last year when I had I had a vice president of the Manhattan GOP on the show on Apostate Radio last year, and I asked him the very same thing because here in New York, there were not one but several Republican candidates who got who got no support. There was a young black woman in Canarsie, Brooklyn, who could not get any support. No money, no ad buys, no nothing. This girl went raw dog in Canarsie, Brooklyn, trying to get into city council. Got nowhere, lost very, very handily. Okay. And I asked him, like, why is it that in states like Virginia and states like New York, why are Republicans simply happy to keep losing and not actually get anywhere and have any power? And I think the answer is very simple. Well, he didn't. What could he say? He didn't give me a fair answer. I'll send you a link to that video. You can watch it. But the guy was. But like, here's the thing about the GOP. They measure power and money. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. When Democrats hold office, when Democrats are busy fucking up their states, okay, or fucking up their local, their cities or whatever, Republicans can raise money off of that. And then what they do is they send that money across the country to races that they know they can quote unquote win. And the cycle continues. This is why people believe in a uniparty. Because Republicans, because it's like, while you have Democrats on the one hand who are ready and willing to wield power however they want and say whatever the fuck they want about Republicans and pillory Republicans and eventually look to hurt them, possibly unalive them, Yeah, I'm gonna use their word for that. and then to turn around and not, and when you fuck up and finally put a candidate in who wins, and you don't give them any support. Why do you do that? Because you want to raise more money. You think that as long as you can hold on to your values, it's gonna net you something.
What values?
I can tell you right now, it's
values?
Not. What fucking values?
I don't.
Losing.
That's the thing. I don't see any holding on to or upholding of values in so many on the right. I see they're not willing to fight for their own side. They're not willing to fight for their own families. They're not willing to fight for the Constitution. All these things they claim to do. When you put them up, look, all the fucking left had to do was point to that 1.5 second clip of the Obamas pasted on monkeys, and they got the entire goddamn political right to stop everything, stop talking about election fraud, stop talking about the Somali fraud, and just, I mean, it is incredible how easy they are to play. Kevin has told me that we do have that full video. We're going to actually play that for you at the end when we take you out here. But Isaiah, I want to go through a couple other contributions on social media and get your commentary on them. Sure. Thank you. Very enlightening. Not exactly a surprise what you're telling me, but an ongoing disappointment. So podcaster, everybody knows who he is. Big guy, Viva Frey says, if you're one of the people who rushed to Yeah, he's great. Who rushed to social media to virtue signal hard at how, quote, racist Trump's post was and how righteous and tolerant you were for calling it out before you even understood what happened. Congrats, you look like buffoons. And that's the thing I should have explained to you guys. This wasn't clear to a lot of people, that a lot of people simply saw that 2 seconds, they saw it clipped out of context, and they didn't realize that there was an entire video that preceded it that was about election fraud. So people were just going crazy. There's another account I like. I assume it's a guy, Gays for Trump. I love him. They just put it right out there. He says, a reporter asks President Trump if he's going to fire the person who posted video of Michelle and Barack Obama as monkeys, or if he's going to apologize. Trump said, no, I didn't make a mistake. Yes. And we actually played for you some of Trump's verbal response to that on Air Force One. But let's talk about one of those monkeys, Michelle Obama. Her blatant race.
Damn, both barrels blazing tonight, ain't you?
We don't do half measures on disaffected.
No, you don't.
So let's play Michelle Obama. This is from just 2 weeks ago. If you guys haven't been paying attention to Michelle, she's got her own podcast now. It's a train wreck. She's on there with her brother Craig, who is clearly, like, obviously she beat the piss out of him when they were growing up together, because he's like, oh, yes, Michelle. Yes, Michelle. She has done nothing in every single public appearance for at least a year, maybe longer. She has done nothing but complain, be resentful. She puts her own husband down. I mean, I have no love for her husband either, but she's disloyal to her own husband. And she is the most racist fucking bitch, and she's so brazen about it. So here she is a couple of weeks ago, basically urging a boycott of white clothing makers. Let's play number 110.
If I hear of someone whose fashion that I like, and I know that they're a person of color, I try to make it a point. But the clothes have to be available. Right. You know, I think we can all do some work to think about that balance in our wardrobes. You know, what does our closet look like, and who's in it? Mm-hmm. Who are we supporting in it? Right. You know, and I think if you have the money to buy Chanel, mm-hmm. then you have the money to buy everybody. Right. And so let us be mindful, I think would be my advice. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm sorry, folks. I meant to pull the larger version. But, you know, she was just talking. I mean, she talked in this about, you know, you should choose black businesses over white businesses. I mean, it's just like, this is so freaking blatant. It's so frustrating because I feel I have to do this preface every time, and I'm going to do the preface for you. I know it's overdone to say this, but really reverse this. Can you imagine the absolute furor that would happen if any white public figure said, I think we really ought to be talking about supporting, white-owned businesses. So if you've got the money to spend on Fendi or on Yee, you've got the money to spend at a white business. People would go even more berserk than they're going this week. Isaiah, take it.
Black folk don't even go to black-owned businesses.
Why?
I will happily explain. So, black-owned businesses, and I'm saying this as someone who does try to patronize black businesses when I can. There's nothing wrong with that per se.
Sure.
My issue has always been when this takes precedent over the quality of the service, the quality and the quality of whatever the material is that you're buying. I particularly do not give a fuck what color you are if your jeans keep falling apart, if they're not sewn properly, if you're, I could care less about your black-owned business, your black restaurant, if you keep giving your customers food poisoning for not having proper food handling skills. I could care less about what color you are, okay, or whatever immigration status you have, if you got rats crawling around in the fucking flour in the back of the house, in the back of your restaurant. I really
sounds reasonable to me.
Less. Yeah, like this is the thing. Your color, the color of your skin does not excuse you from putting out a good product.
Well, I'll tell you what it does do.
That frustrates the fuck out of me because, and I'm saying this as somebody who lived in New York City for 10 years and some change. Okay.
Yep.
There are black business owners that I know that New York City was gigantic on small business when I first got here. Okay. Now that's almost all gone. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I do not want to focus on your skin color. If you make a good cup of coffee, if you have great pastries, great service, great food, whatever, that is what matters. I care if you are bigger and badder and tastier than anybody else out there. That's all that matters. And this notion that I'm just automatically supposed to give you, well, you black, I'm like you black, I'm black, so give me money. No, fuck you. You need to step your game up. Come up with quality shit. I can, as a podcaster, okay, I can have a great voice. I can have, bombastic views, right? But I'm not, but it's because I really try. There's two things. I try to be truthful. I don't fuck around when it comes to objective truth. That's number one. And number two, I don't pull punches, right? Yep. That's why people get me. That's why people get you, Josh. They're not going to listen to you. I could go on.
You're speaking my language. I want to just go through a couple more things as we get to the end here.
Sure. I'm so sorry, man.
No. This is great. I'm glad. This is what I was hoping. I mean, this is good conversation. But you said a couple minutes ago, that your skin color doesn't excuse, having inferior products and all this stuff. Well, one thing your skin color does excuse is actual murder. And I want to bring people back around to this because this what we're talking about here tonight, this fucking myth that America is a racist country against black people and has been forever, hasn't been true for decades, and you all know it. Even those of you in the audience who disagree with me and are getting a little angry, bless you and thank you for watching the show anyway. You know it too, and you know that you do, because you remember the O.J. Simpson verdict. This little bit of video we're going to show you was recently taken. This is a revisit decades later after the O.J. verdict with one of the jurors. Let's play number 120, please.
Do you think that they're members of the jury that voted to acquit O.J. because of Rodney King?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
How many of you think felt that way?
Oh, probably 90% of us.
90%? Did you feel that way?
Yes.
That was payback.
Uh-huh.
You think that's right?
Of course you're going to put her hands up. Of course you're going to put her hands
Think
up.
that's right? Well,
don't give a fuck.
what do I care? What do I care?
I got mine.
I remember when I think I was at Sarah Lawrence College. Yeah, when this verdict came out, and I remember how people reacted. I remember everybody knows that O.J. Simpson killed Ronald Brown and Nicole Brown Simpson. Or Simpson, I can't even remember. He killed his ex-wife and he killed her boyfriend, Ronald Goldman, excuse me.
Ron Goldman.
Goldman,
Yep.
thank you. We all know it. You know it. Everybody knows it. And what did I see when that verdict was announced on the television? The black people next to me hooting and hollering, cheering for it. It was disgusting. And all the white people, this is 30 years ago. The white people were terrified to even criticize them for hooting and hollering for a murderer. This shit has been going on forever. We got one more here.
She still had that look. Hold on. She still had that look like, yeah, I got my revenge. Yeah, I got my social. I got my social justice.
Absolutely.
Shit, I don't give a fuck.
I got mine. I got mine.
I hate that shit. Sorry. Go ahead.
I know. I want to show this too because this guy is so. I think you'll like this, Isaiah. This is Hakeem Jeffries, who is the tragic mulatto minority leader of the U.S. House. And this man, this is an example of a real example of the Dunning-Kruger effect, which is when stupid people don't know they're stupid. I'm not doing this to make a funny. I mean what I'm saying. This guy is so low IQ. He's actually dumb and he thinks he's brilliant. Let's play him out.
This disgusting video posted by the so-called president was done intentionally. Donald Trump and his vile, racist, and malignant behavior. This guy is an unhinged bottom feeder. President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country. It's time for John Thune, Mike Johnson, and Republicans to denounce this serial fraudster who's sitting at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue pretending to be the President of the United States.
Pretending to be. You look so world weary, Isaiah.
I'm going to ask, because I used to live in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn for about 5 years. So I'm going to ask a very simple question, and every New Yorker, every black New Yorker is going to know exactly where I'm going with this. Hakeem Jeffries, are you done? Are you done? Like seriously, are you done with this act? Like, nobody's taking you seriously, son. Nobody is taking you serious. Nobody's taking this seriously. You were called the Barack of Bed-Stuy, and here you are acting like this, doing the same shit that you think that you think is cool with your white handlers, with your white leftist handlers. Like, I'm so sick of this foolishness from guys like Hakeem Jeffries who think they down. These green-eyed bastards who think they down. I don't this dude is actively trying to incite violent revolution in the streets. I am not fooled by this guy. Hakeem Jeffries is trying to foment things in this country that are unspeakable. Okay? He had a meeting. He had some sort of meeting with the governor of my home state of Maryland, and strangely enough, that's how the gerrymandering thing that I told you about a few minutes ago when we first started our conversation. Now there's this big push in the Maryland in the Maryland state legislature to get this thing done that up until a few days ago nobody wanted to do. Hakeem Jeffries is a dangerous, weak man. He is.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot.
I genuinely
we've
hate
got a lot of them. I know. I'd like to go on. I would like to go on for hours with you, but we gotta wrap it up here. We can pick this up again because we have to do this again. You have. I try to light this show on fire, and you brought the extra matches and the kerosene, and I absolutely love it. Isaiah, tell people where they can find you online. Where's your podcast? What's it called? What platforms are you on?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Apostate Radio. We stream Sunday nights at 8 p.m. So when you're we're on an hour before Josh. So you can come check us out at 8 o'clock and then go check out Josh at 9. We are on X. We are on YouTube. We are on Rumble. I also put out daily videos on X and TikTok at Isaiah L. Carter. You can follow us at Apostate Radio NY. You can also follow my co-host at Nino Chavez X. Great dude, the sage of the tri-state, we call him. We are absolutely loving it. We got a whole lot of stuff. We're actually celebrating our 1 year, our first anniversary of Apostate Radio, and I really appreciate it because you, sir, have been a part of that now, not once but twice. And I really appreciate your courage.
Thanks. I love you guys, and I love talking to you on your show too. That's Apostate Radio, folks. This is Isaiah Carter. Isaiah, thank you, my friend, and everybody on Disaffected. What? Yeah.
Hold on a second. One more thing. We forgot to talk about your book. When are we going to discuss your book? You wrote this a few years ago. What's really good, bro? We got to talk about the book.
All right, folks. Everybody, thanks. Come back after the break.
President Obama and Michelle Obama are brilliant, caring, and patriotic Americans. They represent the best of this country. It's time for John Thune, Mike Johnson, and Republicans to denounce this serial fraudster.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Do you feel like you need to talk to somebody, but you're terrified of talking to a therapist? Well, you should be, because most of them are insane. Not all, but most. If you do need somebody to talk to about fractious personalities, bitchy coworkers, cancellation campaigns, reputation destruction, family members who call you crazy for noticing facts about the real world, well, that's what I'm here for. Go over to joshuaslocum.net. I offer private 1-hour video coaching and consulting sessions from a peer perspective. I'm somebody, obviously, who has a lot of personal experience with cluster B and that kind of manipulation in my personal life. And if I can be helpful to you, or if I can be a sounding board, I'd like to talk to you. And many of my clients are actually looking for therapy. Before everything became ridiculous and woke, and before therapists became as dangerous to your mental health as most doctors are to your physical health, there actually was good therapy to be found, and there still is, but it is harder to find. I've got some ideas about that, and I can help point you in the right direction. So if you'd like to book an hour with me, my calendar is up at joshuaslocum.net. And if you are a monthly subscribing member, a disaffectant, if you will, you get a nice discount.
It is time once again for Potpourri du Moquerie, the person is the show where you roast the skin of everyone. Allons-y.
The white British are not okay. They have decided that the countryside of England's green and pleasant land is racist. So they intend to inject more black and brown people, mostly Pakistani Muslims, of course, into the rural white counties of England that people call the shires, the home counties. I bet that'll be popular. Daily Mail tells us, diversity drive to make Britain's countryside more welcoming to minorities after report found it was, quote, too white and too middle class. Yes, yes.
Oi, let's black it up, mate.
So I'll read you a little bit from the Daily Mail. The British countryside is in the midst of a diversity drive after a government-commissioned report found that it was, quote, too white and, quote, middle class. Officials charged with managing some of the country's best-known beauty spots have laid out a series of proposals aimed at attracting minorities. The plans follow a review ordered by the Department for Environment, Food, and Rural Affairs, otherwise known as DEFRA, which warned that the countryside was seen as, quote, very much a white environment and risked becoming, quote, irrelevant in a multicultural society. If you are interested in what's going on in England, there's nobody better to listen to about this than Carl Benjamin, who you may know by his social media persona, Sargon of Akkad. He is the creator of the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, but he also has his own channel called Akkad Daily, AKKAD. And he comes out with 10 to 12-minute shorts every single day, and he's been talking about this a lot. I mean, the stuff I've learned from Carl is just unfreaking believable. He almost blew a gasket this week covering this story. Let's come back to the States. This week in Mia Farrow, we have her on Twitter, and she makes sure that you know that she doesn't want to be on Twitter, because in her bio, she gives her handle for Blue Sky, and it's at miafarrow.bsky.social. And she says, this is in reference to the AI parody that drove everybody crazy that we talked about in the last segment of the show. I apologize for over-tweeting. The Trump ape tweet was just so upsetting. All of them bitches. You know, I'm hungry. Are you hungry? What I should have done is brought in a bag of biltong from biltongusa.com, proud sponsors of Disaffected. What is biltong? It's a South African way of using vinegar and spice to cure very thinly sliced high-quality meat, and it is absolutely delicious, as well as being good for you because it's full of animal fat and protein and no carbohydrates. If you haven't tried the biltong, pick yourself up a box. Go to biltongusa.com. Everybody that I have seen who has ordered this has told me it's some of the best cured meat they've ever had in their life. My friend and my handyman and contractor comes by my house because he knows when the shipment is coming. Do you have any of that good meat? Yeah, Peter, I have some of that good meat. Oh, I suppose I shouldn't have said that during a sponsor break, right? The stuff is absolutely wonderful, and you can get it in all level of spices. You can get different kinds of meat. You can even specify how firm or how moist you like your cut. So go on over to biltongusa.com. Don't just click on the biltong part, though. Notice the lovely selection of imported European groceries they have, too. I highly recommend any of the cookies, biscuits from the UK that you can get. biltongusa.com, and be sure to use promo code JOSH to get 10% off your order. Now, this week, the Washington Post laid off fully a third of its staff because the paper was losing $100 million a year. Looks like democracy was dying right there in the sunlight. As you can imagine, the staff are all crying. And I'm not just being metaphorical. They're crying so hard. Here's one. I'll give you a little selection. Her name, she's some white girl named Jada Yuan. Don't ask me. She writes on Twitter, cried through the first take of this video. We're going to show you the video. I cried during the first take of this video. The first take. Our arts team was decimated. Most arts reporters, most critics in the mass layoffs at the Washington Post. It's a sad day for anyone who cares about the arts. Now for action, looking for work, ways to still support artists. Well, let's hear it right from Jada herself.
Hi, all. I'm taping this while it's a little raw, but I was laid off from the Washington Post today, along with around 300 of my other colleagues, and it's a pretty expansive elimination of this paper that I think is really wonderful, and I have colleagues who are in Ukraine who are going to have to come back, colleagues who are in Jerusalem. We had a foreign editor quit because so much of his staff was decimated.
Wait, stop for a second.
And for our second...
It's probably me. Did she just say they lost a porn editor? Oh, no, it was... I'm sorry. I really thought I heard... Foreign editor, excuse me. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Basically, arts coverage that doesn't involve Trump has been eliminated. So really no arts reporters, no critics. There's just a few left. My whole section, which is features, was decimated. So I don't know, pour a beer out for us. I'm still in Park City, where I was taking a couple days off after Sundance, working 10 days straight. You can ask my friends who never saw me.
Working.
But yeah, onward and upwards. I would like to go somewhere that cares about arts coverage. I would like to travel more. I want to write books. And we'll just see. We'll just see what happens. Anyway, I'm thinking of all my colleagues. They're amazing. It was a really incredible place to work. And we'll see you on the other side.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye, Jada. Bye-bye. No, I don't feel bad for any of these. Look, you know, I know what it's like to get laid off. Laid off. I know what it's like to be canceled. I know what it's like to lose my career of 20 years and my reputation and my employability in the nonprofit sector because bitches like that did that to me. So fuck you. Get on the breadline. Next, we have some crying from Akila Johnson, who writes on Twitter, in 2021, I was hired by the Washington Post to cover health disparities and explore the way racism and social inequality affects health. 4 months ago, I became the Generations reporter, she can't write, Generations reporter exploring how health is experienced by different people across the life course. Today, I was laid off. I would have fired you just for your bad writing. That's not even middle school level English, Akila. Eat the bird, bitch! But my favorite in this genre is from former Washington Post writer Ashley Parker. We've got a lot from her, so we're going to take you through it. First, this is how she presents herself on social media. Her bio is Ashley Parker. I remain skeptical about Twitter. That's what she puts in her bio. She's an Atlantic staff writer, MSNBC analyst naturally, and she's a Washington Post and New York Times alum. All right. If you click through, though, and you take a closer look at how she presents herself on social media, here's her banner image with her portrait. You know, Kevin, can you put me side by side? Because I've been practicing this. I want to see if I can do what she's doing. Right. So I don't know what this is, but it's like I'm sitting on my roof in front of a limpid sky. Rock on. All right. Now, for full effect, let's take a look at Ashley Parker's portrait. Now, there it is. Now, I don't know if you can see this, and I don't know if it's a digital artifact, but did she crimp her hair? Did she use a crimping iron and studio lines from L'Oreal? I mean, I don't... Ashley. Sorry. Okay, enough build-up. Here's what Ashley had to say about her laying off or whatever. I'm sorry, this one gets the voice, you guys. I cannot take this woman seriously. I literally just wrote 4,000 words on the murder at the Washington Post, even though I don't have words for this. At least words that wouldn't violate every self-respecting social media policy, including that of my employer. Yeah, do you mean former employer? I think you do. Next tweet, Ashley writes, Yesterday I was wet-eyed, obvi, on the metro wearing my Post beanie, obvi, and a woman, a stranger, leaned over and hugged me. Which is to say, the entire city understands the scope of this devastating tragedy. You guys, it was a murder. Not a murder on the dance floor, a murder in the newsroom. Well, Ashley, may I suggest Mr. Ray's Wig World? Now, let's go back 6 years to Toronto of the past with City Councillor Shelley Carroll. She's here to tell you about the then new Indigenous name for the local park. Are you ready? This comes courtesy of the Twitter account Wall Street Apes. Play it out.
We've been working with the Indigenous Wendat community to find a truly local name for this brand new park. By choosing an Indigenous name, we actively take part in the process of reconciliation, of recognizing Indigenous lands, treaties, and peoples. A couple of 100 meters from here is an important First Nation site. The Moatfield Ossuary was a very important site to a strong and unified agricultural community. It served as a cemetery, but not specific to one family or kin. The Wendat peoples here lived surprisingly long and peaceful lives, hence the name Eta Nona Wastina. It translates to where they lived good and beautiful lives. Learning to say the name is just a small way we can all be accountable to healing our relationship with our nation's first peoples. So let's go. Try it with me. Eta Nona Wastina. Eta Nona Wastina. Eta Nona Wastina.
Eta nada wastina. I'm not ready to move on from that. It was so good. I expected Sally Struthers to come out and offer us some way to help indigenous cemeteries for less than a cup of coffee a day. In Buffalo Bill fan club news, I give you whatever this is.
And that's what I look like when I take my medicine. And this is what happens when no meds.
Okay, I've got nothing. Ooh. Now, for a near perfect textbook demonstration of projection and reversal, the most frequently used manipulation of the cluster B mind, here we go.
This is an honest question for the men. What happens to you guys to make you so unhinged, angry, dangerous, power hungry, control starved, small ego pieces of shits? And I know that sounds harsh, but there's examples of that all around us every day, nonstop. Now, I know there are some decent guys out there. I do understand that. I know some of them.
Bird hands. Bird hands.
But I'm just flabbergasted by the turnout of the male population and how damaging you all are. So think back to childhood, adulthood, adolescence, environment, how you were parented. What went wrong? What are those defining moments that you might be able to think of that turned you into the monsters that a lot of you are?
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the stupidest batch of all? Actually, it's not her. It's this one I'm going to show you. Last one for today. I'll tell you what, guys. This one genuinely pissed me off. I hate women like this. I don't just dislike them. I fucking hate them. I loathe them. I despise them. I see blood red. Like, my eyes turn into the elevator scene from The Shining whenever I see and hear twats like this woman. Play her out.
I want a divorce. I don't want to live with MAGA people anymore. I don't think that this is a sustainable model for society. We are never, ever, ever going to see eye to eye about how society should operate. Period. I do not know what the solution to this is. But what I do know is that Donald Trump is destroying the structures that glued this country together, honestly, faster, more violently, and better than I think anyone could have ever imagined. So I think the likelihood of the United States continuing as one country is rapidly diminishing right before our eyes. And maybe, in the end, this will do us a favor. Maybe it'll even do the world a favor. Because I think the reality is, we can't live together. We just can't. And frankly, I honestly have no interest in trying to change anyone's mind. If you want to live that way, go for it. If you want to live in a completely reversed reality where no one knows how to read and no one takes any medicine and you all just kill each other over and over again with unmedicated pandemics, that's fine. I don't care what you do at all. I just don't want to be around it anymore. Genuinely.
People who won't take medicine having unmedicated pandemics. You know what? I hate her and her ass face because she's bastard, people. That's what she is. Right, that is going to take us to the end of the show. But if you like this show, there are two requests that I have for you. First, remember that we have a live stream on Thursdays. Our next one is coming up. It's on Rumble, and we're now putting it out on X/Twitter as well. No, we're not putting it on YouTube. There are reasons for that. But we have fun. We usually go for an hour and a half or 2 hours. My sister often joins us. This time we had 2 or 3 people from the audience who came on in on camera and joined the conversation. We had a hell of a good time. We cut up. It's informal. It's a little more relaxed than this show. So that's going to be this coming Thursday, February 12th at 6 p.m. Eastern. I always put announcements on Subscribestar and Substack and on Twitter, so you'll know that it's coming up. And I'm also going to ask you to support our work. I'm going to tell you a little secret about this time of year. This is the time of year after Christmas when people are getting their credit card bills where revenues for us go like this. People cancel subscriptions. You know, they don't want to donate. I understand that. We've all been spending a lot. But if you have recovered from the Christmas splurge and you got a little bit of extra money, I think our show is worth your time and your money. And we would really appreciate it because this is how we're trying to make our living. And a portion of every donation goes to feed Shredder, Mina, and Kevin's dog, Vector, not to mention buy me a new pair of shoes. There's a couple of ways to do it. We'd love to have you as a monthly donor and subscriber, and it starts off so reasonably. You can go to subscribestar.com/disaffected and sign up for just $5 a month. You can go over to Substack and you can sign up for the same thing. You get the same content. Starts at $7 a month. There's different platform variations and stuff. But if you're interested in supporting our work and also keeping an eye on the written content that shows up on Substack and Subscribestar that I offer in addition to what we do on the show, you get an extra value there. And everybody who shows up and signs up as a monthly subscriber gets an invitation to our private members-only Discord chat server, and there's a lot of good people there. Don't want to subscribe? I get it. We love one-off donations. Very much appreciated. Go to disaffected.com and click on Support Us. And if you want to go old school, we've got a post office box. Send cards, letters, rants, raves, and cash money checks and money orders to Disaffected Productions, 89 Main Street, Box 1027, Montpelier, Vermont 05601. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'll see you on Thursday. And for the rest of you who are hosers and don't join our live stream, I'll see you next Sunday.